sprint race. We've got the formation lap here. And Adrian, first win of the season in Silverstone, takes his, I think, his first pole position of the season in Division 2 as well. So, you know, he was really quiet at the start of the season, at the first half of this championship. And since Silverstone, it seems like he's gotten a lot of confidence in his abilities, and he's definitely proven that in qualifying, nabbing pole position away from SLR Charlie.
Looks like WI Adrian is going to make a massive run for it because he's actually started on the softs. Same with Molly and Morris.
Yeah,
everyone else has chosen medium tires.
Well, watch out for Andrew. I mean, normally I refer to him as the Rage Compilation Merchant, because that's kind of what he's known for.
He is very much known for that. Oh!
Yes. It's well documented. Oh,
Menz.
Jaylee Menz!
Menz just had a little spin moment.
Oh, dearie me. You don't see that every day.
He's warming up his tyres.
The man leading... Yeah, exactly. I think
extra grip, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. You don't see that every day, but that was definitely why he spun. He just wanted to heat up his tyres. It's very hard to heat up tyres. Yeah, you know what? I back it. So anyone else that wants to do a 360 off the track, more than welcome to.
Exactly.
We'll cover you.
I'll gladly. You know? Exactly. You're just heating up your tyres a bit more. You know, you didn't have enough heating them.
Exactly. So we're expecting Jenny Menz to go from third to first by the time we get to the first corner, and he'll be like 3 seconds ahead. That's how it works.
Oh, this is another spin. Snowborger! He's done the same thing. Just get an extra heat in the tyres. Dear. Oh, how's he gonna park this?
Andrew's been disqualified. He's missed his braking point. JD Menz does a walk of shame to his grid slot.
He gets disqualified. Predators gets disqualified.
Alright, okay. Right, there's too much going on, and we haven't even started the race. For goodness sake, okay. 12 laps ahead of us here in the Red Bull Ring for the sprint race. And we are underway in the Styrian Hills, and it is a good start for
It is a good start for Menz, though.
Round the outside. This is what we were talking about. He could go round the outside.
He goes off the turn.
He's done it. We called it. We haven't cursed someone for once. JD Menz takes the lead at turn 1. Look at Legend getting in there with Charlie as well. They're going side by side.
Oh, Menz is around.
Charlie. Oh, Menz. Oh, no. Menz is round.
Oh, and he's hit the Williams.
No. And he's hit a Williams as well. Jenny Menz with a 5-second penalty. It's all kicking off in Austria. And Legend takes the lead of the race. Adrian's down to P3.
Charlie gets up to P2.
Charlie's up into P2. Jack is down in P6. He's side by side with Golden Egg Fryer for P6. He's up for 3 championship points, and there's a bit of contact, but Jack gets through, and he's unscathed for the time being. But it's all kicking off in Austria. Chaos once again reigning over Division 2, and out of the chaos, it is the McLaren of Legend leading the Austrian sprint race, and JD Menz. I thought we called it Squirrel, but it turns out we've cursed him in the worst way possible. He's down in 15th.
It wasn't me. I didn't say anything. It wasn't me.
Anyway, we've got action down the field. We've got Danny D going down the inside of Leia, and that is a very nice move from the Alpine. He's looking to get Alplan scoring both points here. Well, the top 8 score points. And Baddotter just got ahead of JMC. Golden Egg Fry, you can see, putting pressure on SLR Jack, his first race back. Not a great start considering he started 4th on the grid. And Andrew's up into P4 as well, so he's looking to make those soft tyres work for the time being. But they will go off towards the end of this sprint race. They're not really designed on this game to go 12 laps. So Andrew will probably be absolutely sending it from the deepest depths from his anger, really, as he looks to get a podium here today and get a 3rd place on the grid.
Very good
as Legend continues to lead. There. So Legend leads and Charlie 2nd. He knows his closest rival.
Oh, it's the Haas around.
Oh no! That is Baddotter. He's had a spin at turn 1, and that is easily done, and that is broken the train, and that means ARL Predators. And look at this! It's 3 wide between 3 cars, and look at Leah sending it up the inside. What is going on here? And look at Clock! Clock steams through all of them, and he's up into P9. Unreal overtake
you
there.
legend.
Saucy Clock, take a bow, son. Take a bow. That is an unbelievable move. JMC and Leah are still going at it. Morris has made up places from last place, and he wants to make another place. Going down the inside of Leah, but he can't quite make it work through turn 6. But good grief, Saucy Clock is within the best chance of scoring points, but JMC wants a piece of the Alfa Romeo, but he has to back out of it. J.L.E. Menz has overtaken Danny D, and he's up into 13th, but that is little consolation considering his race start was unbelievable.
Yeah, from P3 to P1 within turn 1, like we called. The only thing he needed was to just try and hold it, but sadly he couldn't.
Well, speaking of holding, Legend is looking to hold on to the lead because Charlie's gone down the inside through turn 3. And with this game, the outside line is the better line, and that has proven to be fruitful for the McLaren. He keeps P1 for the time being. Charlie just missing out on that elusive race lead. And we've got JMC putting pressure on Saucy Clock. He's going to try and go round the outside at turn 4. This could be a brilliant move to give himself a chance to score points in the sprint. And they're still side by side through turn 6, and it is completed. What a move from the Haas driver. He moves up into P9, demoting Clock into 10th. It's all kicking off between these guys as Leah spins round. And oh no! Danny D has been collected. And that's it for those two. And we've got a safety car on lap 5.
As there's people coming into the pits for a fresh set of softs. JMC, Saucy Clock, Morris, Menz, and Molly are all coming into the pit lane. Definitely to change their softs. J.L.E. Menz to get rid of his 5-second penalty.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. I think these guys, they feel like they've got nothing to lose. As I'm drinking water, trying to preserve my voice. Because it's all kicked off at the first 4 laps. I can't lie. But the problem is for these guys is the safety car hasn't been picked up by the race leader. So these guys, if they wanted to, they could pit. But obviously, that is kind of race suicide. Because, you know, pitting in a sprint race is kind of next to one of the most dumbest things you could ever do in F1.
Unless you
so
Charles Leclerc in a promo in F2.
Well,
around Bahrain.
Okay, well, it's worked. Yeah. I mean, it worked for him. Because he's really quick. Stupidly quick. But, yeah. Leclerc did that in Bahrain. And speaking of pitting, Golden Egg Fryer and Predators, I think they might be taking your advice here, Squirrel. Because they're both in the pits for maybe a set of soft tyres. And it is the soft tyres. So these guys, feeling like they've got nothing to lose, they want to try and get some more points on the board. And
as Mash is also in.
Yeah, Mash is in. He was in the top 10. He wants to go on soft as well. So the AlphaTauri squad wanting to go aggressive after most drivers around them have been pretty aggressive to them. So
Menz is coming back in the pit lane.
Menz is back in.
What?
So he's going to be last. What's happened to J.D. Menz?
He broke his front wing.
Oh,
the
no.
team didn't fix his front wing.
Well, you couldn't. You talk about having Ferrari moments, and this is definitely one of them.
That's a Ferrari moment.
It is a Ferrari moment.
The only Ferrari
he's
right
last
now in
now.
this game, in this race.
Yeah. To all the drivers in this league driving a Ferrari, I feel sorry for
just very sorry.
Exactly. I couldn't imagine anything more painful in my life
Than being a Ferrari fan.
A Ferrari. Yeah, just don't be a Ferrari fan. My brother's a Ferrari fan. It's absolutely disastrous.
I feel sorry.
He didn't even. He didn't even watch the end of the Hungarian Grand Prix. He just had enough.
I mean, I don't blame him really.
He just. He just left.
I mean, for me,
it.
I'm a McLaren fan. Not much better.
Especially
being an Aussie. Especially being an Aussie.
Oh. Yeah, that's just pretty plain.
Yeah.
To be fair, he finished. He did score good points in Singapore. He
He's
might be
got
onto something at the end.
It was very lucky, you know, staying out on the inters a bit longer than those softs. He did say on the radio he wanted to use them so he could try to attack the Ferraris, but let's be honest, that McLaren ain't attacking any Ferraris.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's definitely not. Not in real life, but maybe in this game.
Maybe in the
maybe
game.
in this league race, we might see some Ferrari versus McLaren action. So
I don't think we will, with J.L. Menz being in 15th and McLaren's being 1st and 4th. You can never know.
That's a fair point.
Something could happen.
You never know. Exactly. This is Division 2, Squirrel.
Exactly.
You know, we've commentated 3 races together. This is our 3rd race, and judging from what we've seen already this season, anything can happen and anything will happen. So, J.L. Menz might find himself starting in the top 5 and scoring decent points to consolidate his championship lead. You don't know that. We don't know that. We've got another 5 laps to go, so we'll find out.
Depends when the safety car will go. Menz will definitely catch the back of the field.
Yeah, they definitely will. He's definitely got time on his side. Just the championship lead. He doesn't have to push too much on those tyres.
Still not in.
No, it's not in. It's either it's gonna stay out for another lap. Yeah, it's gonna stay out for another lap. It's already past the pit lane. So J.L. Menz has kind of been saved there. He's got a chance to. It's a 4-lap sprint. In the sprint, to get to the end of the race and decide your grid position. So, Shot Medal in the chat has said this sprint race is insane. Loving the commentary, by the way, guys. Cheers, Medal.
Thank you.
It's good. It's good to be back with Squirrel as well. So, it's good to be back, Squirrel. But we've still got 4 laps to go, and then we've got 36 laps of Austria as the main event of tonight's race in Division 2. And right now, LSW Legend is on the verge. He's 4 laps away from winning the sprint, taking 8 points and starting on pole position, but not if Charlie has anything to say about it. This is a great window of opportunity. It has been open to him thanks to Menz's spin at turn 3. This is his chance to get some really good points, some much needed points after missing Silverstone. And speaking of Silverstone, J.L. Menz would probably want to get on with it and have a better race than he's having right now, because in Silverstone he made the brutal mistake of, you know, pitting on lap 19, I think, lap 15, I think it was, when he could have just stayed out on hard tyres to the end of the race. That cost him an easy podium that day, and right now he might have just cost himself some points unless he gets on with it. So J.L. Menz with it all to do, as we've got the safety car coming in at the end of this lap,
Adrian.
and it's LSW Legend leading the race. Let's see if he can hang on to it, Squirrel.
I don't know why I said Adrian leading, but difficult. As there goes Legend. Legend has sent it. Did he get Charlie napping? He did get Charlie napping. Already a second gap. Adrian gets up as Charlie's actually done very bad. Andrew's got to let him back pass, but he's not going to let him pass for long.
I don't think he has to. I think that was just Charlie making an absolutely hash of that restart. Andrew almost overtook him as well. We are racing again in Austria, and SLR Charlie has just thrown away the opportunity to get the win here, surely. As we've got Jack and Otter fighting for P6. These guys have got to be careful, because a collision now would literally ruin their races, and they would have to start at the rear of the field as Mash is round at the exit of turn 3 as Jack tries to go right outside of Bad Otter. He almost gets hit up in the rear from Golden Egg Fryer as well on those soft tyres. So it's all going to kick off once again. But right now, Legend is absolutely chilling here. SLR Charlie with a huge mistake at the restart, and he's found himself under pressure from Andrew, but Golden Egg Fryer spins it!
Just so I get off the onboard of Egg Fryer. I leave Egg Fryer's onboard to go watch someone else, and he spins.
Oh no, and Andrew's had a spin as well. He was in 4th place. And now, that's it. He is not going to score points. Unbelievable. And Mash has no front wing. He's just going to carry on for the sake of it. The AlphaTauri squad last once again. Golden Egg Fryer with absolutely no luck this season. Andrew's had another spin. But we need to get back to the action in front, because there's definitely some shenanigans going on for the final points paying positions. As Charlie is right behind Adrian, and he wants P2 at least. So, Sem has just put in the chat, Charlie could easily get this gap to Jelly Men's down to at least 15 points. Well, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him because he made a huge mistake at the safety car restart, and he's got 3 laps to try and get P2 at the best. If Legend keeps it on the road, Andrew, I don't know what he's doing at turn 2, but Charlie's really struggling here. Scar Borger, out of nowhere, who's been very quiet in this race, has just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And here we go. DRS enabled. And let's see if these guys can make anything happen. Charlie's got DRS as well. We've got Sotia Clock passing JMC. He doesn't have DRS, and he's going to be in big trouble here. Morris is going to try and pass him as well, but JMC is going to send it back up the inside. This is the final point in this sprint race, and they're side by side. Andrew, get out of the way. And he has managed to get out of the way, which is good for the racing that we are seeing right now. JMC is going to send it back up the inside, and there's a bit of contact. But JMC won't complain about it. He gets through, and he's up into P8. He retains P8 for the time being, but Morris is going to be all over him going into that DRS zone, especially if he doesn't have enough ERS to defend. But this is the closest battle that we're seeing on the track right now. Charlie, Borger, Adrian, all fighting for P2. Biodotta gets a 3-second time penalty, which is going to hurt towards the end of this race, especially now that the field is bunched up. This is the last lap. The last lap of this sprint race. And we still don't know who's going to get points and who's going to be on pole position. But here goes Morris. He's going to try and take it. He's going to send it. And that's exactly what he's done. DRS has aided the Mercedes up into the points paying positions from last place. But Jack has made a mistake. Clock gets past him. The 2 Alfa Romeos trading places there. Trying to just make sure they don't lose too much time. But I think they might be P6 and 7. Jack has had a very frustrating sprint race as Andrew continues his shenanigans on the track. And speaking on the track, Adrian and Charlie going at it through the final sector here. And this is for P2, so this could be really close, and someone's going to be absolutely fuming. Adrian, I think he's giving the place to Charlie, and that's going to slow him up. Legend is going to win the sprint race, but we don't know who's going to be second. But it's going to be Charlie second, Adrian third, Borgen misses out. Otto 5th on the road, but he's down to P7. The 2 Alfa Romeos take 5th and 6th, Otto 7th, and Morris does claim the final point. And Jaylee Menz, who started 3rd, ends up in P9. Squirrel, that's a disaster for him.
Yeah, he was on a bit of a comeback there. He could have got that singular point, but it was He ended up sending it up the inside of Bad Otter, but the move didn't quite work. They touched tires a little bit and he backed out of it. Wow. But to end up having a pit twice under that safety car and come back P9, just missing out on points, I'd say it's a pretty good drive.
I think we might have done one of SLR's biggest jinxes in recent memory.
Oh, no, definitely. Men's, I am very sorry.
Yeah, Menz, if you watch this back, on behalf of myself and Squirrel here, we're very sorry. We have jinxed you very badly, and as a result, you've got no points from the sprint. Yeah, not great.
We're good at jinxing people, aren't we?
It's not like we mean to do it. It's just part of the game.
Just happens, you know.
It just happens.
It's that commentary life.
Exactly.
No one gets
Legend
it, man.
takes. Exactly. It's all part of the game. It's just very unfortunate people having to get jinxed. But Legend, Charlie, Adrian, the top 3, Borger, Clock, Jack, Otter, Morris, the top 8. Jelly Menz started 3rd. He'll be starting P9 in the main race. And that is a disastrous race for him. Scar Borger will be gaining 1 place as well. So, just loading up the race director. Let's go through the permanent grid for the Austrian Grand Prix. It is LSW Legend on pole position. He was 4th on the grid in the sprint, and he took advantage of chaos around him and he kept it clean through that race, and he's on pole position ahead of the Red Bull of SLR Charlie, who's taken 7 points away from J.L. Menz, and he had a great opportunity to score to score more points over the championship leader. Let's see if he can get that done. Adrian, the man who did get pole position, he will be quite annoyed to be third, but still within a shout. He's still within a shout. If you did see Silverstone last week, Squirrel, he pulled off a great example of tyre management, going 20 laps on the hard tyre towards the end of the race, and he only pulled away from the car behind him, which is Sotia Clock. The top three from Silverstone starting 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Borger is in he didn't get pole position, and he's starting 4th here today. Let's see what he can do in the race. Hopefully he doesn't spin at turn 1 again. Clock, P5. Jack in his first proper race back in P6. He's looking to try and have a bit of a cleaner race, really. It doesn't seem that he had the pace compared to those around him, and he's not going to turn that around in the race. Bad Otter, P7. Morris going from last to 8th. A very impressive effort there from the Mercedes driver. J.L. Menz with an absolute stinker, has to be said, in P9. James C in P10. Predators has gone for the hards in P11. Moley, 12th. Another stinker for the AlphaTauri squad. I've seen Sem put in chat, up the Tauri, ice in the veins, world class. Could not be more accurate in my opinion. They're 13th and 14th on the 7th row. Andrew, I don't know what to say with Andrew. I mean, he was 4th, and he spun out of the points. It was looking good until it wasn't. Leah and Danny D having a crash in the opening laps of the sprint. So there's your grid. I think I'm expecting to see a few drivers moving towards the hard tyres here, Squirrel, just for the strategy, because strategy is going to be a key part in winning this race.
Also around Austria, with Div 2 around Austria, anything's going to happen, like we always say. Anything can happen, especially Austria, because the track's it's a very short lap. Anything can happen, as we've seen in the sprint race just then. There'll be safety cars, everything.
I'm expecting at least one safety car.
Exactly.
We'll see.
And as I always say, just keep it on the grey stuff, man.
Exactly.
Easiest way around the track.
Exactly. There you go. And keep it off the white line.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my advice. There you go. There's our advice.
There's your
Squirrel.
advice. Everyone in Div 2, that's all you need to do.
Exactly.
Everyone in SLR.
Keep it on the grey stuff. Keep it on the grey stuff, and keep it away from the white lines. There's our advice. There's the quote of the day. I hope someone doesn't clip this. There you go.
Oh, it's getting clipped. Someone's got to clip it.
I mean, as long as if they clip J.L. Menz, us completely jinxing him.
Corey's just told us we'll need to leave and rejoin.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's just as the menu won't go away, so we need to leave. Sadly.
No,
Sadly.
I'm gutted, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm very upset right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Yeah, I can see why. I've just tried it, so I'm gonna have to go off again.
I really want to commentate McKeon, so I can just if Corey messes up, you know, just if Corey messes up,
Really?
just so I can slander him.
There you go, Corey.
There you go, Corey. You're welcome.
He said that, not me.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie.
don't lie. You'd love it as well.
I mean, to be fair, I commentated over his race win in Canada. He actually did a great job. Can't complain.
Nah, I forwarded his way.
He got pole position. He led literally, I think, the entire race, if I'm not mistaken.
Did he get driver of the day though?
I think so. Yeah, he got driver of the day. I think. Yeah, he got driver of the day. It was a great drive in my opinion.
You know what, Corey? I take that back. Good job in Canada. I didn't
There you
actually
go.
watch it. I was at work.
Okay, we're back.
We're back.
That's right, we are back. And just like last week, Adrian has gone for softs. Now, in Silverstone, he got away with it because there was an early safety car. But if there's an early safety car here, because this race is 36 laps, he's going to have a very hard time getting those tyres at the end of the Grand Prix unless there's another safety car. So,
We've just been told in the streaming chat to keep an eye on active JMC's connection. Multiple drivers have said he was jumping all over the place. And if we think it's too bad to message him, Xbox asking him to retire in the pit lane. That's if it's too bad.
okay, Molly. We're on it,
Which
mate.
we hope is not. Hopefully it'll be a good race for JMC. And his connection
Yeah,
isn't
he's
too
starting
bad.
P10. He's starting a P10 here. So he's in a points playing position right now. But we haven't even started the race yet. So Adrian, the only driver on the soft tyre. Now, in Silverstone, he tried this. He started on the front row, and unfortunately for him, he didn't make it work because Scar Borger got a better start, despite being on the hard compound tyre. So, he's got to nail it down to a T. He's got to nail this start down, and I don't think I've seen anyone spin or get disqualified yet. So, everyone get on the grid slots, and we can get this race.
They haven't taken our advice of
way.
yeah, oh never mind. Yep, Scarborg was disqualified.
Borger's done it.
Morris has done it.
Unbelievable.
Will legendary Danny D do it? No?
Well, Danny D parked his car in 17th. He's on the hard tyre. He's got a lot to do from there. But we're expecting a race of attrition here. It's the main event of Division 2. It's the first Austrian Grand Prix of the weekend. And we are underway in the steering hills for the Austrian Grand Prix. And Legend gets a very good start. And he goes through turn 1 unscathed. But let's see what everyone else does behind him. So there's quite a lot of side-by-side action going on right now. Predators has lost out pretty badly from that race start. It's Legend who leads the way. We might have a 3-wide moment here already.
Oh!
As Mercedes sends it through. I can't see what's going on. Morris has just managed to stay intact there, as there's a lot of movement going on in the midfield.
Here comes
Bowling's up
Jaylee
into
Menz on the
P10.
mediums, going up the inside.
Men's up the inside and he's through. He's up into P8. He's on the move already. Is the championship leader as JMC and Scar Borger are going at it for P6. So Borger's had a terrible start, and this is not surprising. He's on the hard tyre, and as a result, he's going to find it very difficult to warm up those tyres. So Scar Borger's going to be in for a rough ride in the opening laps of this race. Not a great start for him, as we are going to check an eye on JMC's connection. Let's hope it's not too bad through this race, but it's Legend leading the way ahead of Charlie, ahead of Adrian, who's really struggling to get through turn 1 there. Salty o'clock in P4, as Jaylee Menz now is looking to put some pressure on the Aston Martin. Is he going to have a look down the inside? Oh no, Borger's gone wide. Borger's gone wide there through turn 3, and now Jaylee Menz is definitely going for it here. He's used up the ERS and he's got the inside line going into turn 4. Borger can't do a thing about it, and no, you can't do a thing about it, mate. You've just lost P7 and there's nothing you can do about it. Jaylee Menz simply too quick on those medium tyres that have warmed up a lot quicker than the hards. From Squirrel, I think Borger starting on the hard tyre might just have bitten him quite badly.
Yeah, look, you know, again, it's always just probably an issue with heating him up. But yeah, you're not wrong. Jaylee Menz on these mediums has really heated them up, and he is putting in a really good drive. He's obviously championship leader here in Div 2. He definitely wants to win this championship, so he's going to be putting on a masterclass of a drive.
Well, let's see if he can get it done. Again, your words, not mine. It could be famous words before disaster.
Don't say
and it's all Menz's fault.
Don't say that.
There you go. You heard it here. You heard it here. Heard it here from Squirrel. It's going to be a masterclass from Jaylee Menz. And speaking of We might see a masterclass of a move here from Bad Otto round the outside at turn 4. He still kept his Haas in there. Salty Clock didn't really quite cover him off there. Going into turn 6, they're still going side by side here. Clock doing really well to hang on with that outside line as they go through turn 7. They're still side by side here. This is incredible. Clock hangs on to P4 for the time being, as JMC seems okay for the time being. But if it does get pretty bad, I mean, someone's going to have to DM him
I'll send him
and tell him to get into the pits. We've got yellow flags in Sector 3.
As Leah's off.
Yep, Leah's off. He's had an off at turn 9. It's very easily done, and unfortunately, he's found himself at the rear of the field in this race. As oh no, that is Golden Egg Fryer.
Oh no!
And he's had it off at turn 1, and that is a disaster for him. Jaylee Menz and Bad Otter are going at it for P6. I think JMC's had a moment. He's definitely had a moment. He seems to be twitching about on our screen as he goes down the inside.
He sends it.
He's definitely lagging about here. This is not looking great in terms of connection. Moldy's just trying to get through turn 6 without getting taken out by a laggy Haas, and Andrews are going to do the same thing here. He's going to go down the inside, and yeah, that's pretty bad connection.
I think I should send him a message.
Yeah, we're going to have to send him a message because that looks pretty bad for the Haas. Yeah, he's in the pits anyway, so...
Yep.
Yeah, that is very laggy.
There you go. He knows. He knows.
He knows. So, unfortunately, JMC is our first retirement. So, no fault of his own. It's just the internet letting him down. As the other Haas has had it off at turn 1 as well. Bad Otter. It's gone from bad to worse for the Haas outfit. And I don't think they'll be enjoying themselves at all here in the Red Bull ring. One of them is retired due to internet problems, and now...
JMC hasn't retired. He hasn't retired.
Mate.
He switched to the softs.
You were doing fine, and... Oh, dear.
I got him, don't worry.
Yeah. He's going to have to retire. He's got absolutely no choice, because that looked pretty bad. Well, especially with when he was trying to get, like, you know, trying to maintain position from Moley and Andrew. But the top 3 have pulled away from the rest of the field. It is Legend ahead of Charlie. Adrian, again, struggling to make those soft tyres work. It's just a bit like Silverstone. Wanted to try and be a bit more aggressive. But I think at this point, the soft tyres will definitely be going off. Sotia Clock might be quite frustrated as well. He won't have DRS on the top 3. The train has broken up quite a bit. And we might be seeing that. That might be a recurring theme in this race. It might be a DRS train, as Charlie is having a look at Legend at turn 3, but he's sitting back. He knows how the game is played. He knows what he's doing. He wants to sit back and wait for the opportunity and just save as much battery as possible. ERS is very key, and you can see that there. 42% for Legend, 100% for Charlie. There is the impact of ERS. So Charlie's going to have a field day trying to overtake the McLaren for the race lead. Jenny Menz, meanwhile, it's up into P5, so he's made some good progress in the opening laps. So JD Menz, the championship leader, only currently looking like he's going to lose 8 points to Charlie if he just keeps it clean. As we start another lap 7 of this race, it is still Legend who leads. Sotia Clock does the fastest lap of the race as he looks to break away from the DRS range of Jaylee Menz. Scar Borges just hanging in there on those hard tyres. Morris will not get DRS, neither does Moley. So the nearest overtaking opportunity here, it could be for Andrew, as Leah has gone off again. Yeah, he's having an absolute nightmare here in Austria, as Mash is the other AlphaTauri. Well, he is one of the 2 AlphaTauris here, looking to gain places, but he's in a DRS train. But Andrew is having a look at Moley for P8, which would have been points in the sprint, but it's 4 points in the real thing, as he stays behind the Williams for the time being, as not much is going on. Charlie is right behind Legend here. Squirrel, do you think he'll go for the overtake?
Honestly,
at this
I reckon
point-
Charlie, as Adrian comes in the pit lane, but I reckon Charlie will just he'll sit behind for a little bit. If he can get a good run up here into turn 3, then he'll definitely go for the send. But Charlie does have a lot of pace on him. So does Legend. Seems like there you go. As DRS and ERS, he's going to make the move up into turn 3, going up the inside of the McLaren. Can he keep it nice and flat? Keep it as they go side by side. No, touch a little bit, but nothing's broken. No one loses anything. We're all good there. There it is. They make it through cleanly as JMC gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
Yeah, so JMC, the first person to get a penalty in this race. I'm surprised he hasn't really retired yet, considering his internet was pretty bad. But we've seen a change for the lead, and it is SLR Charlie who leads the Austrian Grand Prix, doing what he needs to do to try and close the gap to JD Menz. And now the question is he going to try and push and make and gap the McLaren, or is he just going to let him sit in DRS? He knows it's a long race. There's a good 28 laps to go here in this Austrian Grand Prix. And it is definitely
someone's just knocked on my front door. I'll be back.
Yeah, you better go answer that. So yeah, Squirrel's had someone at his front door. I have no idea how that's happened, but something that is happening is Mash. Look at the pressure on Danny D. Danny D is someone with a penalty. Morris is someone with a penalty. So penalties are coming in thick and fast here for the 17 drivers in this race, as Mash is draining the ERS as much as he can. So is Danny D. His red light is flashing already, and Mash sees it. He sees the opportunity. Is he going to go down the inside? No, he thinks better of it. He will try and get a better run out of turn 3. But the problem is, he's got DRS of the Alfa Romeo of SLR Jack, and he can't keep up with Andrew at the minute. So Jack really struggling for pace on his comeback race. He looked pretty quick beforehand. So let's hope he gets that pace coming soon, but he's not looking good for the Alfa Romeo. He's under pressure from Danny D as he goes through turn 6. He thinks better of it. He stays behind him for the time being, but surely this... Oh no! It is not an opportunity to overtake him! He spun out, and that is an absolute disaster for Danny D. He had a crash in the sprint, and now it's all gone wrong for the Alpine. Absolute disaster as Adrian goes through, and so does Bad Otter in the Haas, but absolute disaster. But for the lead, we have got Legend and Charlie looking to trade places once again. Legend gets through, but look at the switchback from the Red Bull. He'll get DRS as well, and Legend doesn't have much ERS to work with. His red light's flashing, and Charlie's isn't, and Charlie will take the inside line, going into turn 4. Can Legend hang in there? He keeps it on the outside. This is brilliant racing between the top 2 for the lead of the race on lap 10. And can Charlie go round the outside? This is incredible stuff. Can Charlie keep it through? Can he hang on the outside? He gets another switchback on the McLaren, and this is really starting to heat up here. And this is also allowing Salty Clock to get involved as well, and he's dragging Jelly Menz and Borger with him as well. So don't go anywhere yet. This is just getting started, and you can see the gap. It was 3 seconds a few laps ago. Now it is down to 1.3 seconds between Clock and the top 2. So these guys are really going hammer and tong for the race lead. And I think Charlie realises that, and he's going to stay behind with DRS as Borg is having a look at JD Menz. He makes him go defensive. Can he get a good drive out of the corner? I think at this point the medium tyres might just start to be going off. Ah, alright. Alright, no worries. Alright. Cheers, Squirrel. Okay, so Squirrel has something come up, and I'll be taking over here. So Squirrel's left the session. He's been called into work apparently, so that's very unfortunate for him. But here I am, still here. I'm not leaving, and I'm not done until we get through this Austrian Grand Prix. As we start lap 12, things are starting to heat up for the race lead. Charlie and Legend were looking to battle each other, but they've cost themselves some time, some valuable time. Some cars behind. Such a Clock now just 1.2 seconds behind the top 2 now. And he's bringing some quick drivers behind him. JD Menz and Borger on the hard tyre. So this could really play into his hands if he could just clear one of these hard runners, one of these medium runners, sorry. As Borger is going to try and go and challenge for the outside into turn 4. But he can't quite get it done as Danny D has had a spin. Turn 1. And JMC will take 15th place. But, yeah, Borger really putting pressure on JD Menz. This hard tyre are definitely becoming the better tyre here. At this stage of the Grand Prix, the mediums will be dropping off, and maybe some of these guys will be thinking about making a pit stop sooner rather than later, as Jack has had a spin from 9th. He's outside the points, and that is a huge shame for him. This is not the impact he would have wanted to make in his first race back, as he's out of the points, and Adrian is putting pressure on him. You got to watch out for Adrian. He's going to be quite a crucial part in this race, as he pitted a lot earlier than some of these guys. So he's got to get a move on. He's got to clear the Alfa Romeo of Jack, and that's exactly what he's going to do for P11, as Borger has got down the inside of Menz, and this is it. This is Borger's opportunity. He needs to get a move on now. The hard tyre will be the quicker tyre, and he's looking to make it stick. He is side by side with the championship leader going into turn 4. This is going to be really close between the two. Can JD Menz hang it round the outside? But it just doesn't look like he's got the grip on those medium tyres, and he slots in behind. And Borger making the moves when he needs to, and JD Menz has spun! JD Menz under pressure again, makes another mistake, and this could be a costly error from the championship leader. He could have won in Silverstone, and now he's under pressure from Mash. It's Mash's lucky day. I don't think he would have thought he would have overtaken the championship leader, but he's just done it, and JD Menz is back in 9th place. A demoralising moment for the Ferrari driver. But that has released Scar Borger to go for P3 in this race. Jack is in the pits after his spin, as Borger goes down the inside of Clock, and he gets it done, and it looked a little bit too easy for the Aston Martin driver, and he's up into the podium positions. So Borger dropped back at the start, and he's making gains right now through the field, as JD Menz and Mash are going at it as well for 8th place. JD Menz pointless in the sprint, and he's not going to get some points here today, and he was looking at a potential podium once again for the championship leader, but now he's down in P8, and that is a huge moment that could change his approach to the race. Scar Borger has got a 3-second time penalty, and you know, track limits are pretty brutal around this track. And that is just shown it here. 5 drivers with a penalty. I'm pretty sure at this point some drivers might even have quite a few warnings as well, as JD Menz is in the pits, and he's having a torrid time as it is. But yeah, Menz looking for an undercut attempt here onto the hard tyres, and he is away. And he's going to find himself down the order. He's behind Adrian as well, as Adrian finds his way back into the points, running in a very lonely P10, but he's got to get a move on. Some guys he was racing earlier are going to start pitting soon, as JMC gets another 3-second time penalty for track limits. So some of these drivers are getting caught out, as Danny D gets another penalty. That's 6 seconds for the Alpha. I can't remember who it was now. Completely forgotten. But yeah, Leah's had an off there. And Danny D, yes, it was Danny D who got another penalty. He's fighting JMC for P15, and he's not going to go near the grass to get it done. And oh no, he's been pushed off the track there. He's been pushed off the track, as JMC is still lagging about here, and he can't complete the move. That has got to be really frustrating. I'm pretty sure a message has been sent to him to retire in the pits, so I'm not too sure why he's not pitted at this point in time. But meanwhile, Sotia, Clock and Moley are in the pits for the hard tyres, so they're trying to go for the undercut. Charlie has taken the lead back from Legend, and he's got DRS to try and get away from the McLaren, but the McLaren is looking to hang on for dear life to the outside line, but he has to sit back and settle for P2. But Charlie goes a little bit wide there, as legend is still trying to apply pressure to the Red Bull, and Scott Borger is in this fight as well. He looked very quick in qualifying. He could have been on pole, but it was only P5 on the day of qualifying. But he has managed to fight his way through and get into a podium position. But I think now these two are going to pit. They need to respond to Sauter Clock and Moley behind them. So Scott Borger is going to lead the Grand Prix, and now he's got to put the hammer down and put in some good laps, because that is how the overcut is going to work for him. Into the pits now. Red Bull versus McLaren. Who's going to be in front? It was really close between them, and it looks like Charlie gets ahead of Legend. But where is Adrian? Where is Adrian? He's coming through the main straight towards turn 1. This is going to be really, really close between the top 3, the original top 3 in the Grand Prix. And look at that, Adrian is through. He's ahead of both of them. A crucial moment. The undercut has worked out for the Alpine, and Charlie will not have DRS. And these two are going to warm up the hard tyres, and that is an absolute slog to do on this year's game. As Leia gets another time penalty for track limits. Jaylee Menz has passed Moley up the inside at turn 3. So he's up into P11. But Moley's going to try and come back at him here with DRS and ERS as well. He's going to try and overtake the championship leader going into turn 4, but he just doesn't look like he's got the drive actually. I thought he didn't, but he's got the drive out of the corner. He's going to try and send it up the inside. He has a little look, but Jaylee Menz cuts him off smartly. And he's up into P11, and he's got that position locked down. As we've got a crash here. Bad Otter's off. Bad Otter's off. He's lost part of his front wing. James C, I think, might be involved. And, you know, he's got to retire here. He's surely got to retire, because that lag is pretty terrible. Has he sent it up the inside? Yes, he has. He has sent it up the inside. So I'm going to try and send him a message and see if I can actually get him to retire here, because this is pretty bad. There we go. Oh, Bad Otter's left the session. So he's out of the race. He's retired in the pit lane. And we are back. Lap 18 of the Austrian Grand Prix. And things are heating up between these 3. Well, 4. Because Sauter Clock is in the fight as well. So I've just sent JMC a message. He should be able to retire in the pits now. I'm pretty sure Squirrel sent him a message in the Discord as well, so apologies for that. Charlie has overtaken Adrian for the lead of the race, and JMC's retired. That is not exactly what I meant by retire, because that's caused a safety car. And now the problem here is that has just given the hard runners a free pit stop. So where is he? Has he just crashed on purpose? I hope he hasn't. I hope he has not done that on purpose, because what I meant was retire in the pits, JMC. Pretty sure Squirrel sent you a message earlier, so I don't know what on earth you're doing, but he might have just turned this race on its head now, because that means these guys are in trouble of being overcut. So we're going to see what happens. Charlie comes through the final corner. He's under Delta. No, he's not. He's got to catch the safety car. So, there you go. The Delta's gone for him. And look at this. He's been overcut by Scar Borger. Borger will lead the race. And Charlie's second. Morris up to P4. And Clock misses out. He's down into P5. Andrew's up to P6. Moley is up as well. Up into P7. Mash is 8th. Menz could get overcut by Mash. And he has. He's still P9 after everything he's been through today. And Adrian's pitted as well, so he's taking that chance to go into medium tyres. and Predators and Fry have followed him as well. Jack is 13th, Danny D is 14th, and Leah is at the back of the field. JMC retiring has just turned this race on its head. Scarborger on fresh mediums leads the Austrian Grand Prix. Alright, there we go. Drinking some water, guys. Trying to hang on to my voice here. We've still got 15 laps to go. Or 16 including this one. And it is definitely not over just yet. But Charlie's going to be fuming, and Legend especially. He'll definitely be fuming as well. Because these two were fighting for the lead before the, before the chaos of the pit stop period. As Mash is on the soft tyres, so he's probably going to have to stop again. There's no way he's getting to the end of the race on those tyres, as J.L. Men's having an awful day in P9. Adrian loses his early advantage, going for the mediums. He's in P10. He's got some work to do if he wants to get a podium in this race, considering he was on pole position just before the sprint, so he's got work to do in that regard. Predators very quiet, currently P11. Golden Egg Fryer has recovered from that spin, and that safety car's giving him another chance to fight for points, as Leah has gone off again in the safety car this time, and I don't think it'll be the 1-2 Ogween was looking for. And we got another safety car coming in at the end of this lap. 15 laps to go of this Austrian Grand Prix. The race has turned on its head. Scarborger leads the Austrian Grand Prix thanks to a timely safety car and a crash from active JMC. I'm hoping he did not do that on purpose. Charlie's lost out, but crucially, he's got a penalty, so he's got to find a way to work around it as he's going pedal to the floor, and it is racing once again in Austria. We are underway, and again Charlie has had a poor restart here, and this could cost him a net P1 as JMC tries to go down the inside of the turn 1. That compromises his own line, and Morris is going to get involved as well. The Mercedes is trying to take P3 from the McLaren as Borger trying to warm up his tyres. He's going to go down the inside of the turn 3. There's a bit of contact there, and Morris gets his way through. He muscled his way through. He was last after qualifying, and now he's on the podium with 15 to go. But Legend is going to try and come back on the inside, and he almost makes contact with him, and he just stays ahead. Clock is trying to fend off Andrew on those medium tyres, so these guys are going to have a pace advantage until the end of the Grand Prix. So it's anyone's game here in the Red Bull Ring. But one thing I can tell you, that penalties will definitely be a factor, and Andrew is looking to pounce on the Alfa Romeo, and both Alfa Romeos kind of struggling for pace so far this weekend. As Borges has the fastest lap of the race. 1.4 seconds clear, and Mash and Moley have come together. And there you go, they've got a penalty. Moley's got a penalty for a collision with SLR Mash, and Moley's been disqualified for going the wrong way. That is disastrous. We're down to 14 in this race because Moley was facing the wrong way while trying to get back on the track without resetting on the circuit. Unbelievable. That is race over for Moley as J.L. Menz is up into P6 in this race. Borger leads, but he's got that penalty, but I think judging from that fastest lap he's just set, he looks like he's going to run away with this race win unless he makes another error. So Charlie's really got to put the hammer down. He's really got to show some pace to respond to the Aston Martin to stay within the 3-second window. And there you go, there's another fastest lap from Scarborgi. He's absolutely going for it here as DRS has been enabled. He goes very wide through turn 1, and there's the mistake. I think I've jinxed him. Another jinx in the commentary box. And this one could be crucial because now DRS has been enabled. And Charlie with a moment of luck for the Red Bull driver. And now he's within range to attack the Aston Martin. I've horribly jinxed him. So Borger, I'm very sorry. That was not intentional as Denny D has gone off at the last corner. Salty O'Clock looking to pass Menz for P6. So Menz could be still going backwards. He could still find himself going backwards in this Grand Prix if he's not careful. But yeah, really tough day in the office for the championship leader. He's got 13 laps, including this one, to try and turn it around. But Charlie's just trying to hang on to DRS, and unfortunately for him, he doesn't get DRS. But he knows he has to stay within 3 seconds. So that's all he needs to do for the time being. But the question is, how long can he do it for? It seems that Borger's pace is really strong. Meanwhile, the two McLarens, Legend and Andrew, and there's Morris looking to pass Charlie for P2 on the road here. He's going to go down the inside in a turn 2. And I don't think Charlie will fight this too hard. And he doesn't. Morris from last to second. It's been a great performance from the Mercedes driver. And he finds himself just 1.3 seconds away from the race lead. On track, of course, because he's got a time penalty. Meanwhile, Adrian looking to make those medium tires work. He makes contact with Jaylee Menz. And now that's going to allow Predators to try and take advantage. And he does. The Red Bull moves up into P8. It is their home Grand Prix this weekend. One of the drivers are third and the other is fighting for P7 here. But it's definitely not over between these four. It's definitely game on in the points paying positions as Golden Fryer gets past Adrian as well. So Adrian, the man who started on pole, who won in Silverstone, is not looking like it's going to get back-to-back victories this season. And he finds himself in the last points paying position. A very tough race for him so far. It just seemed at that gamble to start on the softs, it just didn't pay off for him. And there you go. The importance of strategy in league racing has come to play here in this Grand Prix. I did say earlier it was going to come down to strategy, and it definitely has come down to strategy here, deciding who leads this Grand Prix. As Predators is up into 8th place. He was 11th a few seconds ago, but he's done pretty well to get himself into a points paying position for himself and the Red Bull team in their home Grand Prix. But he's got the championship leader right in front of him, and he's looking very vulnerable. He's had a few offs so far in this Grand Prix. I'm sure Jelly Menz will just want to get to the end of this race and forget it ever happened. This is the last race before the mid-season break, as Jack has... Well, his miserable race continues for him. He gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. And his return to Division 2 action has not been kind to him at all. As ERS is going to play a key part. As you can see here, Golden Egg Fryer with 87%. But I don't think he's going to be using it to attack. He's going to use it to defend because Adrian has got quite a lot of battery of his own. And I think these two are going to try and go for it at turn 3. Can Adrian send it up the inside? Maybe. He has a look, but he stays behind. JD Menz has made a mistake coming out of turn 3. So Predators now is going to go for the move, surely, but Menz again, he has DRS. So it's going to be hard for him to pull it off. And there you go, the DRS train also playing a factor. Meanwhile, out in front, the gap 1.5 seconds between the top two. Scarborger breaking DRS pretty easily, and he's got that race lead at the minute, just controlling the race. He looked like the quickest driver over one lap, and he is definitely flexing his muscles in the race, which is where you score points. As WR Andrew, he's in P4, and that is a pretty impressive stuff for him, considering he's not been scoring too many points so far this season. This would definitely help him boost his tally and move up in the Drivers' Championship. He's actually catching up to Charlie as we speak. So, Andrew could find himself on the podium as Adrian and Golden Egg Fryer again. They're going to go for it this time, and Adrian gets the move. And it's up into P9. And at the moment, Golden Egg Fryer down to P10. As Fryer's going to try and come back at the Alpine. He's going to go for the inside line at turn 4. And is there enough room for the two of them? Yes, there is. Adrian does well to keep his car, positioning his car on the outside line there, and he stays ahead. But these two are at risk of losing DRS, and at this stage of the Grand Prix, it's going to be pretty brutal because those tyres will definitely start to be going off. So, lap 28 comes to a close. Nearly 2 seconds, the gap out in front between Borger and Morris. Charlie really dropping back here. And it doesn't look like he's going to get the race win that he wanted. But there's still a way to go. There's still time for a twist in the tail. J.D. Menz, what can he do? He's P6. Surely he knows that his rival SLR Charlie will be taking more points out of him here today. It's a 34 point championship lead at the moment, and it looks like that might be cut down quite a size as he's trying to defend from Predators now, who gets a much better run through turn 3. Is he going to be able to make the move at turn 4? No, he stays behind him, and he almost goes right into the back of him. So J.D. Menz really not having the confidence under the braking, as he's really struggled here today. And it's another race and another struggle for the championship leader. But he'll go into the mid-season break, pretty happy with what he's achieved so far this season. He's got a good cushion in the championship. He just doesn't want to make these mistakes that will allow Charlie to close the gap even more race by race, as Adrian was having a look at Predators through the last 2 corners, and he's got absolutely no ERS, so Adrian knows this. He has a look again through turn 1, looks to nail the traction down for the exit, and up towards turns 2 and 3 through the most pointless corner in Formula 1, and he can't quite get the job done. But Golden Egg Fry is having a look instead, so these guys really holding each other up as Adrian doesn't get the best of runs through turn 3, and that's going to give Fry the opportunity. He looked for the inside last time. He's going to try it again. His second time the charm. No, he backs out of it, and he stays in P10, and that's going to be crucial because these guys, if they're all going to fight each other at the end, they need the ERS. They need the DRS as well. That extra 10 to 12 miles an hour of straight line speed. And meanwhile, I want to say here, WR Andrew is right behind Charlie. And now this is something that he probably didn't imagine going into this. I can definitely tell you now, watching at home, I did not imagine this happening. But Andrew looking to make the move for P3. Charlie's got no ERS. He was managing it so well at the beginning. And now Andrew down the inside in a turn 3. And this could be a podium for the McLaren. And it is. Charlie can't do much about it. And Andrew is up into the podium places on lap 31. 7 laps to go. 6 laps to go. And now Andrew, of all people, the Raid compilation merchant, takes the podium place. But now we've got another twist of the tail. We've got rain on the way here. So how is that going to play a factor in this race? If it rains heavy enough, these guys might have to consider switching over to the wet tyres, as Adrian is still going after Predators here. Look at him, he's pushing him through turns 7 and 8. DRS has been disabled. DRS disabled. The conditions are really deteriorating here. And Predators, Andrews and Menz, Adrian, Predators and Menz are all in the pits for the intermediates. Mash has gone off again. So these guys rolling the dice, going for it. We've got Charlie off. Charlie's off. That is a huge disaster for him. He's trying to get back on the track. He's hit the wall on his way back on. And this is an absolute disaster. He had a great opportunity to score points over his championship rival. And look at the conditions. It is pouring down in Austria. And J.L. Menz is literally the car behind. It couldn't get worse for Charlie. And he is not going to be on the podium here in Austria. And Jaylee Menz might actually retain a good chunk of his championship lead as matches off. And you can see the conditions are getting worse. You can clearly see it. It's not getting any better. Oh, Morris is off as well. Morris is off as well, and Andrew's up into P2. Borger crawls into the pits, and Andrew's going to follow him. He can't even make the pit lane. No one can make the pit lane. It's absolutely treacherous out there. Yellow's in sector 2. Leah is off. And there you go. He's moving out of the way. But where is Jaylee Menz in all this? Charlie is not even made it to the pit lane. And this is absolute tragedy for Charlie. His first race back. And he might not score points. With 4 laps to go, it looked like he was going to go for the race win. And that points gap he was going to cut down. Well, it's only increasing for him. And it's just got SLR Charlie. Jaylee Menz up into P4. He's had an awful race for his standards. An awful weekend for his standards. He spun on the first lap in the sprint. He ended up not scoring points. He ended up spinning again in the race as well under pressure from another car behind. And all of a sudden, a change of weather. And boom, he is P4 in this Grand Prix. So, as it nearly loses the rear end there. These conditions and these intermediates trying to get warmed up. So these guys, they just have to get to the end of the race. Andrew is P2, Borger P1. That safety car has definitely helped him out, and I'm pretty sure that'll be a talking point. After the race as he loses the rear end through turn 9. You've just got to keep it on the track, and you're on your way to victory, Borger. 3 to go. Andrew P2, Morris P3, but can he hang on to the podium place? Mash gets a penalty for track limits. As this race is not over yet. Predators up into P5. These changeable conditions have turned the race on its head. The guys fighting for the lead, no longer in the lead. Adrian, Charlie, Legend is P7. After that mistake on the in lap, I think there might have been a bit of contact between these two. I didn't really see it, so yeah, that's going to be a talking point as well. After this Grand Prix, 5.5 seconds to the next car ahead is Borger. And maybe there's a few more twists to the tail here. Morris has a penalty, so Jaylee Menz just needs to stay within 3 seconds. And he'll get a very unlikely podium and extend his lead in the championship on a day where Charlie had a great opportunity to cut the gap down. And sometimes in league racing, that's what happens. You're gifted opportunities, but something can go wrong. And it will definitely hurt him as a result. And Jaylee Menz, as it stands right now, he'll be 49 points clear in the Drivers' Championship. Legend gets a time penalty for track limits. Jack has gone wide there at the final corner, and he's trying to get back on the track. He just slowly lets his teammate through, but he might not have enough momentum. Charlie's crashed. Charlie's out of the race. Oh no, it's got even worse for him. He won't even finish the race. With 4 laps to go, Charlie is out of the Austrian Grand Prix. SLR Charlie, who started second in the race, he qualified second. He won't score points here today, and Jaylee Menz will be smiling from ear to ear to find out that to get that notification that Charlie has crashed out of the Grand Prix. With 2 laps to go now, he's definitely on course for victory here in the Red Bull Ring. Aston Martin's Scar Borger leading this race. After the safety cars, we're going towards the last lap of the Grand Prix. Adrian still trying to pass Predators for P5. This is for position, by the way. Let's see what happens. He's got what he arrests. He's got the slipstream. He's got the straight line speed as well. Down the inside of the turn 1. Adrian gets through. He's over to P5. No, he isn't. There's contact, and he's round. And that's it. He keeps out of the walls. but a top 5 is off the charts for Adrian. It's not the race he would have wanted. After winning in Silverstone, he's going to have to crawl around in P9. A disastrous race for him. After winning in Silverstone in such a dominant fashion. And that is how the cookie crumbles in league racing. But everything has fallen into place for Scarborga as Leah goes off once again. He almost got pole position. He would have had a dominant pole position. He had a shaky sprint race. He had a shaky start to the Grand Prix. But that safety car and the conditions have helped him beautifully here as he comes to the final corner to win the Austrian Grand Prix of Season 9 in Division 2. And that is a much deserved victory for the Aston Martin. WR Andrew is P2, Morris P3 on the road, but JD Menz will claim the podium. Predators will just hang on to P5 from Legend. It's going to be Clock who will take P6 in that race. Jack will be 8th. Golden Egg Fryer has gone past Adrian. So Adrian's made another error here. And that's it. Adrian's going to get 1 point. Fryer will score points here today. It's P9 for him. And Adrian will claim the final point. But 25 of them are going to Scarborga. A well-deserved victory for him. He says he could have won in Silverstone without that spin. And he's shown great pace here today to take 25 points. But Andrew gets driver of the day in game. So let me know who your driver of the day is from today's Austrian Grand Prix. Another chaotic Division 2 race. And it ends with Scarborga taking the flag. 25 points. I think 26 since he set the fastest lap earlier, if I'm not mistaken. And there you go. He lifts the winner's trophy. And I think he's been waiting a while to get one of those this season. And that is a brilliant way to end the first half of the season here in Division 2. Scarborga. A brilliant victory. It will definitely taste sweet after making a few mistakes in qualifying. And there you go. 31 points for Scarborga. A huge, huge day for Aston Martin. Andrew will finish second. Jamie Menz getting a podium in the end by just keeping it on the track. He took Squirrel's advice. Legend 4th overall. Morris P5 with 13 points. Clock is 6th. Predator 7th. Charlie only scoring 7 points while his rival scores 8. So that is a huge disaster. 49 points in the championship now at the end of the first half of the season. Adrian, Knight and Jack all tie with Charlie. So Charlie with a huge missed opportunity here today, as we're going to try and get the top 3 in and see what happens. There you go, the winning margin 4 seconds in the end. What a race. I've only managed to get Andrew in at the minute. Alright, so we managed to get the top 3 in. Make sure you tick your boxes, guys. That'll be highly appreciated. And we're going to start the post-race interviews with P3 being Jaylee Menz. Menz, congratulations. That is another podium for you this season. And you've managed to extend your lead in the championship by quite a margin. And it looked all lost at the start of the weekend, so talk us through it.
Yeah, I thought I'd bottled the championship, and I was really worried about the championship in the end, with Charlie up in P3, me down in P7, and of course he got P2 in the sprint as well. Yeah, I spent most of that race being furious, but I think the range came just at the perfect time because all the top lot had already gone past the pit lane, and of course me being in the back of the grid, the middle of the pack, I then was able to jump in the pit lane just in time. Yeah.
So you're saying the rain saved you here today. Well, it got you another podium when all seemed lost, and now the first half of the season comes to an end. You're nearly 50 points clear off the next car. Do you see yourself aiming for more podiums and wins towards the title?
Well, yeah, that's obviously the plan, but it's going to be difficult. I got none of my, I'd say, like, my favourite tracks left. It's now just trying to manage that gap to Charlie and trying to make no mistakes, unlike what I've done today, but got a lucky result out of it again.
Sometimes you need a bit of luck in league racing, and the luck was definitely on your side towards the end of the Grand Prix, but congratulations on P3. And we're going to move to the man in P2, W or Andrew. Mate, welcome to the podium rostrum. Well done. Congratulations, your first podium of the season in a chaotic race. I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't think you'd end up here at all after the sprint race. But talk us through it. What a race.
Well, I mean, good to be back on the podium. About damn time, to be honest, after, I think I was away for like the last 2 seasons. I think I was in the McLaren last time I was full-time as well on the old game. Yeah, for the sprint race, I tried to do the soft strat for the whole of the sprint because it actually got me a win from like P7 or something like that in a different league. So I thought, I'll give it a bash. The only way is backwards, effectively. Unfortunately the car just for some reason spun on me coming out of the penultimate corner, and then the tyres were about 1,000,000 degrees Celsius, so that's why I kept spinning. I mean, I was barely touching the throttle trigger on my controller, but I've got the finesse of Rage and Bull, so yeah, as you saw with all those spins. And then the main race, I saw that it was wet at the end, near the end. So I thought, go on to the hards and just try and keep them going until the wet period. Obviously, safety car then changed that, so I went on to the mediums. Unfortunately, that safety car didn't last long enough for me to actually avoid going into low fuel mode within the final 2 corners of the race. So and then obviously once I put on the inters as well, as always, whenever I pit for inters, for some stupid reason I lose the vibration in the triggers on my controller. So the last however many laps on inters were basically probably the hardest laps that I've ever done in league racing. So but yeah, I'm glad to be back on the podium. It's been a while, so yeah.
Well done, Andrew. Do you think this might be an upturn? We finished the first half of the season. Of course, you've not been too lucky. You haven't finished a lot of races, so what is the goal now for the second half of the season?
I'm not sure how my teammate is looking in the Drivers' Championship, or even how the team is looking in the Constructors, but I'll just try and get as many points as I can for the team, because there's absolutely no hope in hell that I'm going to be winning the title this season, because of all the DNFs and also a couple of race bans. So hopefully just try and get as many points as I can, and hopefully it sticks, and hopefully you can get McLaren as far up the order as possible, if not in the tier championship standings, maybe they're combined.
Well, cheers, Andrew. Well done. Congratulations on your podium. Like you said, about damn time. Well, congratulations. But we're going to move on to our race winner, Scar Borger Scar. well done. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's your first win of the season, if I'm not wrong. But what a way to do it. It seemed that you were the quickest driver out there, if not for qualifying. So talk us through it.
Scar's not in the party.
Yeah, he left the party because he had issues with his mic or something, mate.
Oh, snap.
I think he won in Azerbaijan as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he did win in Azerbaijan. Yeah, he did. Right, never mind. Second win of the season.
I was going to do a
go.
Kimi Raikkonen quote when you said on the podium, but I thought, oh, got to be PG for the stream, so I changed it a bit.
Yeah, you just got to be PG now. Alright, you're on stream. That would not be a good look for you.
No.
Just waiting for Borger to get back. Because this is
This is the part where we need to play the technical difficulties music.
Yeah, this might be it, to be honest. Right. I've just sent him an invite. So he should join us in a second. Sorry about this, everyone. I'm seeing him type in the Discord as well, so I have no idea what's going on. Ah. Here he is. Alright, here he is, the race winner, Scar Borger. After a few technical difficulties, like Andrew said, insert the technical difficulties music. But there you go, he's made it in. Borger, your second win of the season, and it seemed all was lost after qualifying. So talk us through your weekend. Hello. Hang on, has he even ticked his box or anything?
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah, we can hear you.
Right, repeat that question.
Alright, it's your second win of the season, and it looked like you were the quickest driver out there, but qualifying wasn't ideal for you, so talk us through how you turned it around.
I mean, qualifying was annoying. I was, what was it, like a 5-1 first lap or whatever, which, well, it remained, and then I was up 5-6 temps going into the final sector. Just a really unfortunate bit of timing. Just nothing I could do. I had to avoid it, and then ended up invalidating at the same time, which was quite frustrating, but I kept my head down, basically just knew not to do anything silly in the sprint. Ended up working, only lost about one position anyway, and that was to Andrew on the soft, which I knew was going to happen from the get-go. And then the race just worked perfectly in my favour. Like last week I got screwed by the safety car and me dropping it, which didn't help, but this week it kind of did me a blessing in a way. And then that in-lap on the rain, I think I'd like to say, won me the race at the end. It was critical that I basically just didn't drop it and extended any gap I had, which luckily worked out in my favour in the end.
So this is your second win of the season. You scored 31 points across the weekend, and there were some drivers who dropped a lot of points here today. So do you think that you could start a push for the title in the second half of the season, or is that a bit too late considering the gap?
I did the maths earlier. Before today I think it was 89 down, which basically means even if men's finishes second every race that's left, the 11, and I win it, I can't win it, so I'm going to have to need a bit of luck, which, you know, anything can
I
happen
reckon you can catch.
You reckon?
You've got the pace.
Yeah, but I just need to keep on the
Well, there you
track,
go.
which is the problem.
Well, there you go. You got someone backing you here.
It's a
Borger.
mega challenge, and given the races that I missed, including, you know, like Spain, Miami. Well, Spain, I don't know how I could have been, you know, and I've still got poor tracks like Japan still to come, so anything can happen, you know. One little incident, one little drop, boom, 25-point margin either way. At its most. It's just 50 point swing.
Exactly. Sometimes it takes one or two races for things to turn around, and knowing Division 2, the nature of it, most of these races are literally races of attrition, so still all to play for in the second half of the season, but that is all we've got time for. Congratulations to the top three. A very, very chaotic Austrian Grand Prix. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow SLR on Twitch and YouTube and all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next one. We've still got more Austrian Grand Prix coming up in the other divisions, leading up all the way to McKeon on Sunday and Division 1 on Monday as well. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.